Hey there, it's Jamie, that's me here. Welcome back to my channel. Now let's get into a quick chat, Real Housewives edition. First up with a quick check is the cast of the Real Housewives All-Stars. According to Radar Online, the cast of Real Housewives All-Stars have left their home and are currently headed to Turks and Caicos. These are the individuals that they have decided to pick to be a part of the All-Star cast. We have Kyle Richards, Luann de Lesseps, Ramona Singer, Melissa Gorga, Teresa Giudice, Kenya Moore, and Cynthia Bailey. Now, I'm unfamiliar with the other ladies because I don't really tune into any Real Housewives shows outside of Potomac as well as Atlanta. But I will be exploring a bit as Beverly Hills is coming up. I definitely plan on getting into that franchise and reviewing, as well as Salt Lake City. And I'm debating on New York. So you guys let me know if I should get into New York and whether or not I should do any reviews. You guys let me know your thoughts down below. However, I want to highlight the fact that Cynthia is considered a fan favorite and she will be a part of this all-star cast. Although a lot of us like Cynthia, some of us would beg to differ that she isn't technically a fan favorite. I see Portia as well as Kandi superseding Cynthia in that fan favorite role. But what I will say is it makes sense as to why they did choose to have Cynthia be a part of this cast. I will say that Kenya Moore may not necessarily be a fan favorite, but she definitely keeps the drama going. She's very entertaining to watch on Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I will give you guys my reasoning as to why I think Cynthia is a part of this all-star cast versus Portia and Kandi. Now, first off, you know, Portia is doing a lot. She is doing a heck of a lot. You know, she's on Dish Nation. She's doing Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's even doing the Bravo chat with Giselle and another young lady on that show. So it seems like Portia is hella busy. And if it came down to Portia being on set with Kenya Moore, I think Portia was at a place of, listen, I am done. I can only tolerate her in Atlanta. I'm not gonna go to Turks and Caicos to be a part of this all-star cast and participate with Kenya. I had enough. I got a lot going on right now, so I'll decline. This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they probably asked Portia, and Portia said, you know what? I'm gonna decline right now. I can't do it. I definitely believe Kenya was already considered because of what she brings. She brings the drama, right? Now, when it comes to Kandi, you guys know Kandi just opened up her Blaze restaurant. She has a ton of other restaurants that she's working on. I do believe she's working on filming and everything for the upcoming Escape movie whenever they release that information to us. In addition, Kandi is booked. Kandi just dropped a movie not too long ago. She's also gonna be a part of the upcoming season of The Chi. So Kandi is pretty booked and busy for sure. So who does that technically leave us? I think that would definitely leave us with Cynthia. Cynthia is a veteran. So if Portia couldn't do it and Miss Kandi couldn't do it, in my opinion and observation, they decided to go with Cynthia. Because if we're gonna go off of fan favorites, I don't really see Cynthia being a fan favorite, but she was chosen, right? And I do believe that she was chosen as an alternate because the two primary ladies everybody else would want to see on TV was not available. That's just, you know, merely my opinion. I'm interested in seeing how this is going to play out with Cynthia being amongst these ladies, Cynthia as well as Kenya. I know at one point when Cynthia was getting ready to get married to her now husband, Mike Hill, there was kind of talks, you know, amongst the fans about whether she's going to stay in Atlanta or could she go over to California and join one of those franchises over there. And we were wondering, I know I was like, how is that going to work? What is the dynamic going to be like with this black lady amongst all of these other white ladies? So that's just going to be really interesting to see how Kenya as well as Cynthia, you know, fit into that environment with these other ladies. I am not familiar with them, but I definitely believe I will be tuning in just to see the dynamic. I believe everybody is going to stay in one house and they're going to do some filming and things. So I wonder if it's going to be cutesy, if there's going to be any drama, if it's going to be like the other shows, like what are they giving us? I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how that layout is going to be. But if you guys had the opportunity to choose your all-star cast for Real Housewives of Atlanta, chime down in the comments below and let me know who you would have chosen to be a part of your all-star cast. Also, I would like to know, Do you think Kenya and Cynthia and Teresa and all of the other ladies that were chosen should actually be a part of this all-star cast? And if not, please let me know your thoughts and everything down below. Meanwhile, I'll go ahead and move on to the next topic. Let's talk about Claudia Jordan. Claudia Jordan sat down with Dom Natty Show. I do believe I said that correctly. And one of the questions that was presented to her was whether or not she believes Nene is irrelevant right now. And Claudia replies, yes, I definitely believe that Nene is irrelevant at this time. She said that, Nene was a prime factor in helping this show become who it is and what it is today. She went from being absolutely nothing to being something. But in the end, she ended up burning a lot of bridges and she sabotaged her own career, according to Claudia Jordan. Now, Claudia did give her a compliment and said that, Nene is charismatic and she's funny as well. However, she does have a big ego and her ego is a part of her downfall. She also mentioned that when they got the opportunity to film together, she would see Nene walk off set constantly, and she was wondering, how is it that this lady can walk off set and still get her checks? If that was me, they would have been did away with me. So Nene was able to get her way for a very long time. And Claudia just said, it's very unfortunate, her ego had a lot to do with it. You got to be mindful of how you are on your way up, because when it's your time to be on the way down, people are going to remember those things. So she also goes on to say that Nene shot herself in the foot with this. And after hearing Claudia's interview and listening to what it is she had to say about Nene, I honestly am not opposed to anything that Claudia had to say, because I do agree. I think Nene is very entertaining. We like to see Nene on our screens, but at some point when Nene went to go work for, in my opinion, when she went to go work for The Apprentice and work with Trump, her head got even more bigger. The moment she sat down with Sheree in the infamous scene and told her, I'm cashing Trump checks, honey. That's what I'm cashing, all right? That's when I believe Sheree told her to get her grill fixed or something like that. So ever since then, Nene has been that girl thinking she can do whatever she wants to do. Nene has even left the franchise before because she was acting on Glee and booking other acting opportunities that I believe she thought that she was bigger than the show as well as the network. And she's the main person to say, you can't win when you play dirty. She always tell people to be mindful of things like that, and now the shoe is on the other foot. Now, at one point, she gave Bravo her ASS to kiss, and here it is. They gave it right back to her, and she began to fight, scream, hoop, holler for a position on the show. And, I just, sorry for ya, is really all that I have, and hope that in the future, it's good luck to anything else that she does do. But I don't fault Claudia Jordan for anything that she had to say. This should be a learning lesson to Nene. You can't go around treating people how you want to treat them and then not expect karma to come around and hit you at any moment, because one thing about karma, she will always show up. She may not show up at a certain time, but she's going to show up, so be careful. And unfortunately, we got to see, I won't say the demise of Nene Leakes, because I don't think there's a demise to her, but we saw the downfall of her on the Real Housewives and the network over the past year of 2020. So Nene has truly, been going through it. And there's been talks with Zeus trying to connect with her and create a project or something, so maybe she'll go over there. But according to Claudia Jordan, nobody at this point is willing to stick their neck out and try to offer Nene a deal or do any work with Nene. So that's just very unfortunate. It's very sad, and I really have no words for Nene. But like I said, I don't disagree with anything Claudia Jordan said, and I hope that this is a learning lesson for Miss Nene Leakes as we continue to move on. Speaking of Nene and parting ways with the network, let's speak on Fallon, who's actually about to part ways or has already parted ways with her husband, Simon. Simon took to Instagram to read a message saying, after a year and a half together, Fallon and I have made the mutual decision to end our marriage. Despite our willingness to be transparent, we respectfully ask for privacy at this time. Thank you. And once Simon put that message out, Fallon felt compelled to come out and give her 2 cents as well. Fallon says, after 2 years of marriage and 5 years of friendship, Simon and I have made the difficult decision to go our separate ways. We are deeply thankful for the impact we have made in each other's lives, as well as the bonds formed with each other's children. This mutual decision was not made lightly, and despite our current willingness to be transparent, we only ask our friends and supporters to be respectful respectful of our privacy as our family gets through this very difficult period. I would like to say thank you to all of my supporters who have shown a great deal of love for our family. You all do not go unnoticed. Fallon. Now, I will say, after Toya Ali had to sit down with Kandi on Speak On It, where she kind of dropped the bomb, letting everybody know that Fallon is not with her husband, she decided to come out with this statement. Now, rumors had already been swirling because when Fallon got the opportunity to sit down with the Jasmine brand, they asked her that question, and Fallon, in so many words, did not confirm that they were still together or whether or not they were separated. She was kind of talking around it, which left people in a, I wonder if they are no longer together. So once Toya dropped the bomb, Fallon and her husband felt the need to go ahead and come on out so that nobody else can expose the truth about them and their relationship. Simon took to his Instagram, on his Instagram Live, to have a chat with people. He went on to let everybody know that he is no longer responsible financially for Fallon, and that Fallon is not broke, and that she has plenty of money. One of the questions that came up for Simon was, how was infidelity exposed? And he said, well, listen, you guys really want some salacious information from me. I'm not going to give you guys that, but just know this: I am very good at what I do when it comes down to finding out what it is that I need to find out about something. So basically, Simon did his research. He must have dug in some records, dug in some phones and emails and whatever else he could get his hands on, and that's when he likely learned out that Fallon had stepped outside of their marriage. So those are the allegations at this time, and Simon kind of confirmed that Fallon did indeed cheat on him, which is the cause of them getting a divorce. I'm sure they had other reasons where they just weren't seeing eye to eye, but right now the focus is on the fact that Fallon stepped out of the marriage. Will these two get back together? I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I know Fallon has, 3 children, and Toya made it a mission to let everybody know that Fallon's 3 children are by 3 different men, okay? Now, I will say, I'm wondering, I thought that Simon as well as Fallon had 1 child together, but I am not sure, as they've been together for like 5 years, or like Fallon said, they've been friends for 5 years, married for 1.5 years. So I want to believe that they may have a child together. Not necessarily sure, but TBD. With this news dropping, I don't necessarily see Fallon coming back to the show of Real Housewives of Atlanta. But again, I would love to see her, girl. So whatever drama you got going on with your man, and I know you guys are going through this divorce, come on over to Real Housewives of Atlanta. I wouldn't mind seeing it, because the girls wasn't really giving us anything this season. So that may be way more entertaining. Now, after the news dropped, and it seemed like it was a domino effect, you had the interview that Fallon did with the Jasmine brand. You had the interview that Toya did with Kandi. You had Simon taking to social media to make a statement, Fallon going to social media to also make a statement, and Simon getting on social media so that he can address some things verbally. After we've seen the domino effect of what everyone had to say regarding this particular situation, here comes Miss Candace of Real Housewives of Potomac, adding in 2 cents. Now, she says, I'm really starting to believe these girls go on reality TV just so they can get a divorce. Now, we do not know for sure who Miss Candace was referring to. A lot of people believe she could have been talking about Fallon, considering the fact that this just happened with Fallon, and here it is, her tweet immediately following. So a lot of people aren't sure. Mind you, we only saw a 5-second clip of Real Housewives of Potomac and what we can expect to see, but all that conversation was about was a hot box. So we don't really know what's going on in the season for Real Housewives of Potomac, and Candace could indeed be referring to someone on the show. We're not sure whether or not she's referring to her cast member or if she's actually referring to Fallon. I feel like that is TBD as well, to be determined. We're not sure. We'll have to see how the season go, and maybe we'll have to revisit this tweet. But for now, to Fallon as well as Simon, good luck, and we'll just see how things go from here. Let's move on. There's been more and more talks happening regarding Phaedra Parks returning to Real Housewives of Atlanta for season 4. I saw that Jasmine brand posted an article where they referenced The Sun, saying that Real Housewives of Atlanta producers are in talks with Phaedra Parks returning back to the show. Not sure how true this is, but I'm starting to wonder. I do deem the Jasmine brand as a credible source, so for them to repost and cite The Sun as a source of information makes me wonder, could this actually be true. Not necessarily sure, but wondering. I will say that there have been a lot of talks, as I said in other videos, where people every year speak on Phaedra returning, and that's never been the case. I do feel like this year could potentially be different if I take a step back and I look at it. Phaedra, I cannot recall the last time she's been on Watch What Happens Live since she's left the show. Now she's returning just for Watch What Happens Live, and here it is. The producers are in talks of bringing her back, and then we see an interview that Kandi has with Access Hollywood where she speaks on whether or not she will be leaving the show and contemplating. Kandi says that she's always contemplating when is the right time to leave the show. She don't really want to go, she don't really want to stay, but they need to get it together. Okay, is what she's trying to figure out. She said it's always a two-way street. It's up to the cast member to make the decision whether they want to stay and go, but then also it's up to the producers on whether or not they want to keep you or not. So that's where Kandi is. She said that for overall, she's not sure. She doesn't know what she's gonna do and what's gonna happen. But just listening to that snippet of the interview of Kandi saying she doesn't know whether or not she's gonna stay or whether or not she's gonna go makes me think, could these talks actually be true, that Bravo is talking to Phaedra about her coming back, and Kandi is just getting ahead of the story a little bit, letting you guys know that, hey, I'm always contemplating. I'm always contemplating about whether or not I'm gonna leave. I don't know, I may leave this year, I may not leave this year. You know, I'm just thinking, I'm not sure. So it makes me feel like, well, we wouldn't be surprised if Kandi leaves, of course, because Phaedra's coming back, but also she had already been contemplating this. So it makes me wonder. I don't think Kandi is at a place where she wants to have Phaedra come on the show where she entertained conversations that happened 5 years ago. I know a lot of people feel like, you know, it's irrelevant, it's pointless, let's move on. But I think Bravo may look at it like it's still some type of storyline there if Kandi still feels a way about it. If Kandi still feels a way about it and Kandi still has emotions towards that situation, then they may feel that they can pull some type of story out of that. But again, they're gonna need Kandi to even participate in it anyway, you know, and I don't see Kandi being open or willing to film and be in the same room as Phaedra. But again, TBD, these talks are still happening. Not sure what's what or what's accurate, but I do believe if they probably get enough fans talking about it, they may entertain the idea, even if the idea truly is not on the table. So we shall see. I do believe with season 13 being a complete bust, in my opinion, they probably are going to be grasping for straws, trying to figure out what angles and what storylines and what can they do. The first thing I think they need to do is figure out some new producers, because this season was not good. Y'all cut out so much content. The season definitely ended up being flat. We had a situation with Bolo that carried the entire season. Okay, if it wasn't for Drew and LaToya's antics, I don't know where else we'll be, because the girls weren't giving us anything. We did not get the opportunity to dive into Kandi and her family life and how things are working out with her and Todd. We didn't get all of that. We didn't see even more of Portia and Dennis trying to come together or separate, or whether Portia's dating or any. We didn't get into any of that at all, but we got into this recycled storyline of Kenya trying to figure out whether or not she's going to get this divorce when America knows that's not going to happen, as she's still unhappily married today. So what was it giving? We wasted our money. What was this? Okay, it was trash. The only storyline we got was Drew and what's going on in her marriage, and even some of that information they cut out. And we didn't get anything going on with Toya aside from what Drew put out there about her and Pastor whoever. So it was just a complete bust. So I think that they're trying to look at all angles of what they need to do. They can't say that bringing on new people will be a great thing, because they brought on new people and people still feel like the show was flat. So they may feel like, hey, let us retract. Let us probably go back in the vault, pull up some of these old ladies, because we know they're going to bring ratings, because history has shown that that's what they do. So I don't know where producers and where production and where the network is with their thinking process, but I'm looking forward to seeing how things are going to pan out for season 14. So I feel like the overall situation is definitely TBD, to be determined. But I would love to hear you guys' thoughts down below. Please let me know your thoughts about Phaedra returning and Kandi possibly leaving the show. Let me know your thoughts about Fallon and Simon no longer being together. I would love to know your thoughts about the all-star cast. who is on your all-star list and who is not on your all-star list? Leave your thoughts and comments below about everything that I discussed today on the Quick Chat. I'm Jamie, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos. Follow me on Instagram as well as Twitter at Jamie, that's me. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.